Last week I left you guys after a bit of a chaotic start to our week at Bryce Canyon. As temperatures started to drop, I decided to head the 2 hours south to Zion National Park in search of some more adventures and some warmer temperatures. With all of the engine trouble last week, delaying our trip a day, that left me with only one day to explore the park. So we've got an epic 13-mile day of hiking ahead of us this week, and more beautiful scenery as we continue our road trip south back to Arizona. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori. If you guys are new here, I'm currently traveling in this self-converted ProMaster van, and today we are exploring Zion National Park after a kind of crazy start to our week at Bryce Canyon last week. If you guys missed that video, I'll put that up here if you want to check it out. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and joining us on the road as we continue exploring Utah and head back down to Arizona and then Texas for the holidays. I'm really starting to get excited for the winter months with all this cozy weather. But today we have an absolutely huge day in store for us, so let's get going. After catching the first shuttle into the canyon for the day, I set off on my very steep 2.5-mile climb up to Angel's Landing. The first half of this hike consists of paved switchbacks up a very steep incline, and I don't think I was quite awake enough when I started this hike. But as I continued upward, the bite of the cold air and the beautiful first light shining on the cliff faces definitely woke me from my slumber very quickly. Struggling just a little bit. After taking one last deep breath, searching for a little bit of extra courage, I set out to cross the at some points seemingly endless 1.1 mile trek across the very narrow ridge out to Angel's Landing. The views as I continued my climb made my heart flutter, out of both beauty and a bit of sheer panic as I remembered I had to climb all the way back across on my way down. I was even lucky enough to see an endangered California condor soaring along the cliff's edge, and the fact that I was up higher than the bird hit me once again as I tightened my grip on the freezing cold chains. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, that is definitely one of the scarier things I've ever done. But the view. I sat to enjoy the fruits of my labor for a while, but maybe also to muster the courage to make my way back across on my way back to the van. The longer I sat, the more I noticed how brutally cold the wind was against my skin, and how many more people were on their way up here. Adding two-way traffic to my very narrow climb back across the ridge was going to make my descent a bit more tricky than my climb up here. And promptly after that realization, I gathered my things and began making my way across before it got any busier. Good afternoon, guys. Haley and I just woke up from a little bit of a nap. I'm still feeling pretty wrecked from this morning's hike, to be honest. We're gonna drive to the other side of the park and do another hike for sunset before heading to camp. I'm excited to watch the sunset at the viewpoints here. It's so absolutely stunning here. This park is insane, and I can totally see why it's one of the most heavily trafficked parks in the United States. So if you do get a chance to make it out here, definitely do. If you do hike Angel's Landing, I recommend wearing really good shoes with really good traction. If you are even moderately afraid of heights, maybe not the hike for you. Absolutely incredible view, very, very strenuous, but it almost feels a little bit better knowing how hard I worked for the view. Good evening from Observation Point. An excellent view of Angel's Landing down here where we were at earlier. And I would definitely recommend this hike to anyone who is not quite sure about doing Angel's Landing. Very similar, stunning view of the canyon without all the sketchiness. I have hiked up here with Elisa for sunset. We're gonna be camping together tonight, but I'm gonna put my camera down and enjoy the view. Howdy everyone from our very last day here in Utah after finishing a little bit of work in Kanab and saying my goodbyes to Elisa. Haley and I decided to venture on and continue south towards Page, but to make our drive a little bit more fun, we decided to do a few classic road trip stops today. So our first stop of the day is the Old Pariah Township. There is a ton of history here, including an old movie set. The mountains here are known as Rainbow Mountains and the colors are so incredible. But I'm gonna continue down this road and hope that I can find the movie set. Okay, so the sign at the front of this road said there was a movie set of some sort here. I just drove by some other people, so I thought I'd stop and ask if they knew where it was. They said they'd been flying their drone around for a while trying to find it back here, and they haven't been able to. They did say that there is a different old-timey movie set 30 miles west back towards Kanab where I just came from, and the road started to get a little bit sandy, so I think I'm going to abandon that mission. But this whole landscape back here is so unreal, and I can totally see them filming old Western movies here, and I felt a little bit like I was in an old Western movie here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little detour. The next stop on our road trip day is Horseshoe Bend. It's about 3:30 now, and I think we're about an hour away. So we should be able to catch it for sunset, which should be pretty awesome. So I will see you guys there. Okay, I was so curious that I decided to Google it before I left the area about the movie set because I was really excited to see it. And it says online that the movie set was south of the river. The river I did see, but in 2006, the replica buildings were burned to the ground by an arsonist. So it's no longer here. Definitely still worth the stop to see the Rainbow Mountains because it does make you feel like you are in an old Western, but if you are looking for a movie set, there is another one west towards Kanab. Made it to Horseshoe Bend. It does actually cost money to come here now. It is $10. The woman at the entrance said that it's about a 20-minute walk out, so we are hustling so we don't miss the sunset. It is dog friendly. So Haley is accompanying me. Hopefully we don't miss it. Haley is a little bit afraid of the edge here, but we've got an absolutely stunning view. Very busy area though. Back at the van. For any of you that do not know, Horseshoe Bend is actually located in Page, Arizona. So our time in Utah is officially over and I'm so sad to see it go. What a week. What I did in a week, I probably could have spread out over the course of a month because there's so many more things that I drove by or that were in those parks that I really would have loved to explore. So I will definitely be back. Utah's not going anywhere. Horseshoe Bend at sunset was absolutely stunning. I don't know that I would ever do it again since it is a paid spot, but it is definitely a must-see at least once if you are ever out this direction. This week was definitely a crazy one, so much so that it had to be split into 2 vlogs. We did 2 national parks, had some engine trouble, made a new friend, hiked 28 miles, and road tripped all the way back to Arizona, and I'm absolutely wiped. Haley and I are going to head to Walmart here in Page to sleep for the night before we head back down to Phoenix, where I will pick up with you guys next week. My sister is flying in to have her very first week of van life. It'll be so nice to have someone to spend Thanksgiving with. Sometimes holidays on the road can feel a little bit lonely, so I'm really excited that I'm gonna have my family here with me. So I will see you guys in the next one. Good night. So our first stop is the